Hello, I'm Bruce Lorincz, and this show is called Bruce on the Loose. I talk to people in the school system, city government, new stores, and activities in town. We have Megan Harvey with us, the Executive Director of Main Street Wadsworth, and welcoming her to the town and to the position as well.
Oh,
thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What has been your educational background?
Sure. So graduated from Medina High School back in 2014, and then I pursued higher education by going to Ashland University to get my degree in multidisciplinary studies in theater and business management. And then right from there, I started in the workforce.
Yeah? How did you hear about downtown Wadsworth, the opportunity there?
Sure. So I moved to Wadsworth 3 years ago, and I was on Facebook one night scrolling through posts and saw the listing for looking for a new executive director, and I figured I'd throw my name in the race, and the rest is history.
Yeah. What position did you have that prepared you think, for such a unique position?
Sure. So during my time at Ashland University, I did pursue theater and business management. So I had the business background, and then when I started at the Akron Civic Theater 6 years ago, I first started part-time in our box office and then moved into our executive assistant role. So seeing firsthand what our executive director was doing, we were going through a capital campaign during those 6 years. So saw the fundraising aspect as well as managing a larger nonprofit. And then I stepped into fundraising, working with individual donors as well as foundational giving and applying for grants. So all of my work working with that nonprofit definitely kept me on my toes. You have to know a lot of skills, so I think it set me up perfectly to try my hand at this position.
And no 2 days are alike, are they? Sometimes things will just go down and you really be happy, you really had a productive day, and next day, well, not so much, huh?
Yeah, it's always, and I love having a day where it's never the same. One day you may be working with jugglers and alpacas, and the next you'll be writing a grant and in meetings all day, so it keeps you on your toes.
You know, Megan, some communities I've noticed, and I'm originally from outside Worcester, Ohio, have really neglected their downtown area. It seems like a shame to me. Why would cities not try to promote their downtown area?
Sure. So I think a lot of it is that people get focused on that fast-paced life, the big box stores, the going to the larger established cities, the Clevelands, the Akrons, the Cincinnatis. And the thing that people forget is that everything started in a small town. At one point, Cleveland was a small town, Akron was a small town, and we are so fortunate to have such a tight-knit community. And so for those other communities that aren't focusing on their downtowns, you can see that neglect and businesses start to move out. So I think with Wadsworth in particular, we have definitely kept that focus, and that has made us stand out from some of the others that have seen the decline in smaller businesses closing.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. It's just a very fast-paced society, and people get caught up there and really want to do those types of things. Wadsworth downtown is very unique, isn't it? I can buy insurance. I can go ahead and work out. I can go ahead and get flowers. I can go ahead and eat out. Just an array of opportunities for citizens.
Yeah, there's so much to do downtown, and I think you can, like you said, go get lunch, and then after lunch pop into Uniquely Handmade and get a new art piece, or if you're looking for hot sauce, or like you said, flowers. There's something for everyone, and I think that makes us stand out as well, is that you never know what you're going to get downtown.
And people enjoy the diversity, don't they? They really enjoy, especially those events that we're going to talk about later, First Friday. They like to go in those establishments, and sometimes maybe for the first time.
Absolutely.
And we get a lot of out-of-towners, don't we? They know that is on tap, and they come, and they really enjoy their time in Wadsworth.
Yeah, and I think that's something especially we give to our own community, but having outsiders from outside Wadsworth come here and visit, the amount of times I've heard in the last few weeks of, this is my first time here, or we live out of town and we just wanted to pop through, and they're so amazed by all of our stores and events that they make it a point to come back a second, third, fourth time.
Now, it would be certainly a mistake to think that you organize all the monthly events. Is there a board that you have to report to, and can you describe the board?
Sure. So yes, we do have a board of directors, and that is volunteer-based. So they are community leaders, community advocates who want to see the downtown as well as Wadsworth strive and grow, especially as they have new families in the area. And we also work off of a 4-point system so we are part of Heritage Ohio, and with that we have a design committee, a economic development committee, promotions, and organization. So those are all volunteer based, so it definitely takes a team to do all of the things we do with Main Street Wadsworth.
I'm sure that a couple days before, tying the loose ends together and coordinating that, how did you do that with your first event just a few weeks ago?
Sure, yes. So working the June 1st Friday, which was celebrating our safety forces, we worked a lot with the city, and the city is a huge supporter of Main Street and our community. And so coordinating with the mayor and the safety director and making sure that we had all of those service vehicles, and not just from Wadsworth, they actually brought in Norton and Seville and Doylestown, Medina, and having all of those was a huge team effort. And then working with our businesses, coordinating with them to see what they would be offering that evening. It definitely was touching base with many people to make sure we had a smooth event, which I think it definitely was well attended and everybody seemed to enjoy.
The weather certainly has a lot to do, and you
Yeah.
cross your fingers. That certainly is the X factor, and you really cooperate very much. It sounds like a lot of the fire and safety forces come in. Sounds like the blue tip. They love to throw the candy out to the kids, and hopefully everything will go well, and the weather will be a little cooler than what is predicted coming up right around the corner. How is the board financed?
Sure. So the board is all volunteer-based. So from the financial perspective, we are a nonprofit. So we rely heavily on donations from individuals as well as sponsorships from corporations and businesses here in Wadsworth. We also do some grant applications as well.
Since there are volunteers on the board, could a citizen that just maybe new to Wadsworth, that has an idea that hasn't been looked at before, could they bring that to a board member or you and say, hey, this would be something that would be neat and people would really enjoy this?
Yes, I love collaborating, I love new ideas, so I am definitely, anybody that has something they want to propose is always welcome to come to our committee meetings, talk to me personally, talk to a board member, and see how we can incorporate those ideas, because it's not just our board or myself or our committee members living here in Wadsworth, it's the entire community. So we love that community support.
You know, I think that your first event, we kind of take for granted the safety forces, what they have to go through, the training, the background, the very unique situations they're dealt with. And how did you lead up to that event, and what were some of the things that you did, and some of the contacts you did, so we can better understand how it's all put together?
Yeah, so I've only been in the position for about 5 weeks.
Right,
so
sure.
In that first 2 weeks, I met with our safety director and as well as the mayor and our economic development directors to talk about what that event is typically like and what we need to do. So reaching out to them, they were already on board. They knew that was something that our community loves. So they were hands-on with all of the contacts for the different safety services. And then we actually had a few that reached out to me, and so putting them in contact with our police chief and seeing how we could incorporate them into the event as well, but also working with our businesses for anything that they were offering, such as activities or giveaways, making sure that they tied into that theme. And so I know we did a put out the fire game, so that old milk bottle knock down the bottles game, and it was an ode to our firefighters of knock down those red Solo cups with the flames on them and win a prize, but connecting that to the theme and making sure that we did reflect the important work that our safety forces does.
Collaboration is really key to your success, and you couldn't really do a wonderful job without everyone kind of pitching in. How does that work?
Sure. So we definitely rely on our volunteers, and so I know we have our July 3rd event is coming up. So we are always looking for people to help set up the different tables, booths, activities, making sure we are safely doing what we need to downtown. So contacting the city regarding permits to make sure we have the roads clear in case an emergency happens, and just trying to reach out to all of these individuals that want to be a part or want to figure out how to get involved in the community. So trying to keep that communication open and working with them to see what our biggest needs are for each event.
Really a big aspect of the success is getting the word out. What various ways do you promote your July activity coming up right around the corner?
So we definitely, in the age of social media, rely on the social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, but we also have a wonderful partnership with the radio station as well as WCTV, and working to promote all of the things we're doing downtown. Eventually, I'm looking in this position as I grow to add some print forms of media to also do that outreach, but anything possible to promote we're always looking at new avenues.
Okay, Megan, I'm putting you on the spot. What is the July First Friday event?
Sure, so it is our July 3rd fireworks and food truck. Right. So it actually won't be on a Friday this year,
all right.
But we are bringing in about 24 food trucks and having the fireworks and all of downtown shut down for everyone to enjoy that celebration of our Independence Day.
Boy, it sounds like we have an array of choices. We have certainly all sorts of maybe donuts and all sorts of things. We can go ahead and sausage sandwiches and almost
Lurches,
like the fair.
Oh yeah, lemonade.
That is wonderful. Sounds like the Wayne or the Medina County Fair and all those activities. Boy, people will certainly enjoy that.
Yeah, and I think it'll be continuing on that celebration of going from the Blue Tip Festival right into July 3rd. Our summer is definitely full of fun things for our community to come downtown to see and do.
You touched a few minutes ago about the city's cooperation. You really couldn't be as successful as First Friday is without the city, and it sounds like the really efforts are there to go ahead and have people know about the event and come and participate.
Yeah, no, the city has been tremendous. Like I mentioned, I've only started a few weeks ago, but the mayor's office and the city administration were so welcoming, and they have definitely been a huge supporter of Main Street and all of our work. So anytime we are able to work together and make sure we are doing great things for downtown, that has been a wonderful partnership.
I heard from a couple stores that they were just swamped during that time, and they stay open sometimes longer than your event happens because there's so many people there. Have some of the merchants got back to you and given you some feedback?
Yes, no, they, especially this past First Friday, was our announcement of the DORA with the city. So I know one merchant actually stayed open till 9:30, and they closed much earlier on a typical day. And then another had one of their best evenings in months. So they have definitely loved having the events downtown and driving that business to them. And I think that is a huge part with my role of, if we do these events and have these opportunities, that drives people to come downtown, and they're not spending their dollars at those big box stores mentioned. They're shopping locally, they're eating locally, and driving funds back into our community. Yeah,
I just read an article where DORA was initiated in Cuyahoga Falls and Akron and Hudson and some surrounding communities. I think maybe Wadsworth is the first in Medina County. Can you explain what DORA is and how the merchants profited from that?
Sure. So with the DORA, it was through the city and then the state level, but it is a way for merchants, and they can opt out if they like, but for merchants to sell alcohol outside of their business. So they can sell a drink, and then somebody can actually walk down Main Street and have a drink while strolling into the different shops and attending. We had our Wadsworth Merchants Guild concert this past Friday as well, so people were able to grab a drink at one of our restaurants and then head on over to the concert. So definitely seeing an uptick in sales as people didn't just have to sit down for dinner, they could grab something and then walk around and enjoy downtown.
And again, the people from out of town, some of the best publicity is word of mouth.
Yeah.
If someone says, hey, I went to Wadsworth and they have a fireworks coming up and they have events coming up, you should try that, and that will certainly increase the participation in the events that you sponsor.
Yeah, and we're always looking both to provide to our community but also to those outside communities, because we want them to see how great Wadsworth is as much as we do, and giving them that option, come to Wadsworth. And while I love Akron and Cleveland, instead of spending your time up that way, come here and visit and spend your time and your love with our community.
Does the Blue Tip Festival give some impetus to the community and getting involved in events? That's been going on for, I think this is the 51st year. We had Tom Morris and we had coordinators for that event, Dwight Powers, on recently, and they're looking forward to it right around the corner. Does it help to have other events other than First Friday?
I think so. So we actually, with the Blue Tip Festival, they just did a fundraiser of a fire truck pull at our First Friday, and it was definitely a great thing to add to our event and work together with another organization here in town, because the more that we work together, the better promotion, not only for our First Fridays, but their events. And I definitely think I love having something to do every night of the week. So while we do our First Fridays and have our other events, having other community events is so important as well.
Yeah, Wadsworth certainly is very renowned for their choir and their band. It's really nice to see the band leading the parade down Main Street, Broad and then Main. And it's traditions are very important in communities, aren't they?
They are.
And we're getting away from those a little bit.
Yeah, no, and especially as I was driving here today, I saw people already setting out their lawn chairs
that's
and
true.
Marking their spots. So I think as long as we keep that, and definitely having that celebration of what has made us so successful and who we are as a community, I am a firm believer of continuing events like that and celebrating who we are.
Speaking of events, some events are monthly. In December, of course, the holidays are there. Are there some things that you would like to try that maybe Wadsworth hasn't got into yet?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely this first year. I'm keeping all the events that we've done in the past: the Candlelight Walk, the Scare on the Square.
Sure.
But eventually, one of my grand ideas is to do a giant banana splitting festival, so an ice cream festival, and trying different things like that of festival type, especially in those colder months when it's trying to find something to do while going downtown, trying to find different ways to do that, maybe a hot cocoa and coffee event, and just new ideas. So I'm definitely looking forward to shaking things up.
Would the committee, the board, think about maybe a questionnaire? What would people like, or do they have field questions and comments from the community? Those types of things, might be profitable.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's, like I said, I would love anybody to reach out, email, Facebook, call me, as well as our board members. We are always looking for those new ideas. And then also our promotions committee. So they are the ones that support doing all of these other events. And so coming and joining our committee meeting, you don't have to come to every single one, but coming, sharing ideas is always welcomed as well. One
of our new employees, Abraham, was at First Friday and getting all kind of pictures and scenes of people having a good time, and that's very helpful too, because people see that and say, well, I was out of town, or I had something going on and couldn't make it. Boy, I really
need to
really
be there
missed
next
that.
year.
Yeah, need to be there next month. Yes, no question about it. All those things help, don't they?
Absolutely, and that's, yes. I know I've just posted a photo album of our past First Friday, and everybody's tagging their friends, their family, and especially with our farmers market is coming up. It actually starts tomorrow, and that runs for the next 16 weeks, and that people are commenting on that. We need to go. That's a vendor I want to see. So definitely word of mouth and trying to get people out and experiencing all of our different events, because no event is the same, that's for sure.
I think that's at CIS right downtown,
Yep.
right across from some of the new establishments and businesses. I think we have a new Italian restaurant.
Yes. Cambria.
Cambria's, yes, that's for sure. Yeah. So it's nice to see and new businesses and restaurants come to downtown. It just broadens your horizon and some of the things that they can put on to assist First Friday.
Absolutely, and there is something for everybody downtown. So I think whether you want to spend some funds and go to our small businesses, or do our free opportunities through the First Fridays, or just walk around downtown, I definitely think there's an array of things for people to do and see.
You know, Wadsworth is a community that really has a lot of traditions, and I think First Friday has delved into that area, and people look forward to it. They really can't wait for First Friday, and of course, again, the weather. If the weather is nice, then you're really going to have a good crowd, and we're growing gradually, like 2% a year, the mayor tells me, and that's nice. It's not like it's out of control or there's people leaving the community. That would certainly be a negative situation. And businesses change downtown. Where a flower shop leaves, something else goes in there. That's kind of exciting.
Yeah, and that's definitely, and I know as well that I was talking with the senior center, and that I believe we are the 6th greatest senior growing population in Ohio. So our community truly is growing, and I think having new people come in each year has been so incredible, because we are exposing them to our traditions and welcoming them into what we're doing, getting them excited and wanting to be a part of it as well.
Speaking of Fridays, of course, bingo, standing remotely over at the Suprema Senior Center, and they just come, and there's just, again, array of activities here for the senior citizens, and Lori goes ahead and really welcomes. And every month, there's more people joining each and every month, 25 to 30 new people. That has to make you feel good. That's a vibrant community.
Yeah, and that's, I think, one of the best things, and talking with the senior center, has been how are we getting people downtown that may not have the opportunity. So whether that's the car service that they have partnered with the county, or just talking to your neighbor, I think having people come to this city has been extremely beneficial.
And you also, do you get any ideas from other cities? Like we talked about Summit County having several cities. Do you have contact with other directors from other areas?
So with Main Street Wadsworth, we are part of Heritage Ohio, which is our larger organization for Ohio, and then we are actually under Main Street America. And so I was actually just in Westerville this week and met with about 10 other directors, some closer up this way, such as Medina, but also closer to the Cincinnati and Columbus areas. So seeing what they're doing, getting to explore. Westerville has a beautiful downtown, and I know they do a third Friday, so instead of the first Friday, but seeing what works for them and comparing notes and seeing how we can both grow together and swapping ideas has been so beneficial.
It's not like you have to take all their ideas, maybe just one thing.
Yeah.
It might help one month, and it's really good to branch out and see what other people do, and vice versa.
Yeah.
They can learn from Wadsworth and
Absolutely.
maybe salute their safety forces. It's a two-way street, isn't it? They can also learn from some of the things we're doing here.
Yeah, and we definitely, talking with all of these other directors, it's, something that may work for Wadsworth may not work for their community, and vice versa. And I think that's what makes each downtown and Main Street so unique, and getting to share those ideas. Another one has their farmers market coming up as well, and they have, I believe, over 90 vendors, and it's incredible. And that's something, comparing what we're doing with our market to their market, and so definitely tons of idea swapping.
You've just been on the job for a little while now. What can you see yourself and the community developing in 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, so with the position, so I come from that theater background, the arts, but what I love is that arts and culture is not just an arts and culture sector. It is a driving economic force. And so I hope through my work with Main Street, using our events, using our murals downtown, and all of the other things that we do, beautifying the buildings, that by taking that arts and culture sector, it will drive more funds to our community. People are going to want to come from all over the state to visit Wadsworth and shop at our restaurants, go to our gas stations, stay at our hotels, visit all of our shops, and that is something I would love to see grow, especially with our economic development in the community, is how can we benefit and give back. So looking forward to that.
Megan, Harvey, thank you very much. You have some good ideas, and I'm sure with the collaboration that you see in Wadsworth and have experienced, it hopefully will come true.
Yes, looking forward
Thank you
to
for viewing Bruce on the Loose. We did a show recently with Jackson Joy and Nick Tavanella, the only 3-time state wrestling champions in Medina County. And Joanna Perino got Nick Tavanello on he was of Columbus, Ohio, and we even had him on the show there. And we did highlight Tom Morris and Dwight Powers, the big Blue Tip Festival coming up right around the corner. So thanks for viewing, and have a good day.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.